Before we dive into today's topic, I want to tell you about something that's changed how I approach pigeon health and performance. I run another channel called Pigeon Healthy where I share natural herbal treatment methods that most fanciers have never heard of. We're talking about plants and natural remedies that have powerful healing and performance-enhancing effects on pigeons. Things like specific herb combinations that boost immunity, natural treatments for respiratory diseases, plants that improve digestion and recovery after races, and natural alternatives to chemical medications. We cover pigeon diseases you might be struggling with right now: canker, respiratory infections, coccidiosis, worms, and show you exactly how to treat them using natural methods that actually work. No guessing. No expensive medications with side effects. Just proven herbal protocols used by top European lofts. If you're serious about keeping your birds healthy naturally and improving their performance without chemicals, go subscribe to Pigeon Healthy right now. The knowledge there could save you birds, save you money, and give you an edge your competition doesn't have. Now let's get into today's topic. Saturday evening, 6 p.m. Tomorrow is race day. 300-kilometer race. Liberation at 6 a.m. Sunday. Your birds have trained perfectly all season. They're in peak condition. You've followed proper feeding protocols. Everything is ready. You're excited. This could be your best race of the season. You walk into the loft. You want to see your racers one more time before basketing tomorrow morning. You catch each bird. Feel the muscle tone. Check the eyes. Everything looks perfect. You're confident. You feed them their evening meal. Good portion of quality feed. They'll need energy for tomorrow's race. After they eat, you decide to give the loft a quick cleaning. Sweep the floor. Change the bedding. You want everything perfect. A few club members stop by. They want to see your team. You show them your birds. Everyone's excited. You talk strategy for tomorrow. The conversation runs late. Finally at 10 p.m. everyone leaves. You basket your birds for tomorrow. They'll sleep in the baskets overnight. This is what you always do. You drive home satisfied. Everything is ready. Sunday morning. Race day. You arrive at the club for convoy departure at 4:30 a.m. Your birds are in their baskets. Some seem agitated. Others are sitting strangely. You're not too concerned. They're probably just sleepy. The race happens. Results come in. Your birds arrive home. But the times are disappointing. 10 to 15 minutes slower than you expected based on their training performances. Not terrible. Just not as good as they should have been. You wonder what went wrong. Were conditions bad? Was the wind stronger than forecast? Were the birds slightly off form? You can't figure it out. The birds seemed perfect the night before. Here's what you don't understand. You destroyed your birds' chances in the 18 hours between Saturday evening and Sunday morning liberation. Every action you took that seemed helpful or harmless actually created stress, disrupted physiology, or impaired performance. The birds weren't slightly off form. You put them off form through 7 specific mistakes in the final 24 hours before the race. Today I'm teaching you what those 7 mistakes are, why each one kills performance, and the exact protocol Belgian champions use for the perfect final 24 hours before racing. Mistake number 1 is feeding too much the night before the race. You think the birds need energy for tomorrow, so you provide a good meal. Normal portion or maybe slightly increased portion of racing mix. The birds eat it. Crops are full. They seem satisfied. This is what kills their performance. Here's why. When birds race with full or heavy crops, they're flying with extra weight and impaired breathing. The full crop presses against the air sacs, creating resistance to breathing. The bird can't take full deep breaths. Oxygen intake is restricted. Even worse, if the crop is very full at liberation, the bird is flying with active digestion happening. Blood flow is diverted to the digestive system for processing food. This blood flow is then not available for muscles during racing. The bird is literally stealing from its own racing ability to digest food. The correct protocol is very light feeding the night before racing. 10 to 15 grams maximum. Just wheat or wheat and peas. No oil seeds. No corn. No heavy grains. The birds should go to roost with crops that are light, not full. By morning basketing time, the light evening meal has mostly digested. The crop is clean and light. The bird flies with minimum weight and maximum respiratory capacity. The difference in flight time between a bird racing with full crop versus light crop is 10 to 15 minutes over 300 kilometers. That's the difference between first place and out of prizes. All determined by how much you fed the night before. Leo Heermans was famous for his pre-race feeding discipline. His birds got almost nothing the evening before racing. Maybe 10 grams of wheat. That's it. No exceptions. Even his best birds, his proven champions, got the same minimal feeding. He understood that leaving birds slightly hungry is far better than leaving them full. Hungry birds fly with urgency and efficiency. Full birds fly sluggishly. The race is won the night before through feeding discipline, not during the flight through genetics. Mistake number 2 is cleaning the loft the night before racing. This seems like good management. The loft should be clean. The birds should have fresh environment. But cleaning the evening before racing creates stress in multiple ways. First, the activity and noise of cleaning disturbs the birds when they should be resting quietly. Sweeping, moving bedding, your presence and movement, all of this creates alertness and low-level stress. The birds can't fully relax and rest. Second, cleaning raises dust. Even if you think you're being careful, sweeping and changing bedding puts particles into the air. The birds breathe this dust. Their respiratory systems have to work to clear it. This creates inflammation and increased mucus production. By morning their airways are slightly compromised. Not enough to be obvious. Enough to cost them 2 to 3 minutes over a long race. Third, cleaning changes the loft smell and feel. Birds are sensitive to environmental stability. When you change bedding, the loft smells different. The footing feels different. These changes create subtle psychological stress. The birds aren't completely comfortable. They're slightly on edge. This prevents optimal rest. The correct protocol is no loft cleaning for minimum 48 hours before racing. 72 hours is better. The loft cleaning should happen Monday or Tuesday after the previous weekend's race. Then the loft is left stable through the week. By Friday and Saturday the birds are completely comfortable in the unchanged environment. They rest deeply. They conserve energy. They arrive at basketing completely relaxed. I know the objection. Won't the loft get dirty? Won't the birds be living in filth? No. If you're changing bedding twice weekly as you should be for ammonia control, the loft is reasonably clean even after 4 or 5 days. It might not be perfectly spotless. But birds don't need spotless. They need stable. A loft that's slightly less than perfect clean but completely familiar and comfortable is better for the 48 hours before racing than a perfectly clean loft that's been recently disturbed. Clean the loft early in the week. Leave it alone before racing. This discipline is hard for fanciers who are neat and want everything perfect. But racing results prove it's correct. Mistake number 3 is handling birds repeatedly the evening before or morning of racing. You want to check their condition one last time. You catch each bird. Feel the muscle. Check the crop. Examine the eyes. Maybe you catch each bird twice. Once in evening to check. Once in morning before basketing. This seems like diligent management. It's performance sabotage. Every time you catch a bird, you trigger stress response. The bird's heart rate spikes. Stress hormones, primarily cortisol, are released. These hormones create the fight or flight response. Blood pressure increases. Breathing rate increases. The body prepares for danger. Now here's the problem. Cortisol remains elevated for hours after the stressful event ends. One handling episode can elevate cortisol for 3 to 6 hours. Multiple handling episodes in the final 18 hours before racing means the bird goes to the race start with chronically elevated cortisol. Elevated cortisol suppresses immune function. It impairs tissue repair. It increases inflammation. It reduces pain tolerance. All of these effects hurt racing performance. The bird flies with stressed physiology instead of rested physiology. Additionally, elevated cortisol before racing means the bird starts the race already partially fatigued. The stress response is exhausting. Using it repeatedly before racing drains energy reserves that should be saved for actual racing. The correct protocol is minimal handling in the final 24 hours. If you must check birds, do it 48 hours before racing or earlier. The evening before racing, don't touch the birds. Morning of racing, handle each bird exactly once for basketing and only for the minimum time necessary. 30 seconds maximum per bird. Catch calmly. Place in basket smoothly. Done. No repeated checking. No squeezing to feel muscles. No examining in detail. That was all done days earlier. Race morning is just mechanical transfer from loft to basket with absolute minimum stress. Belgian masters follow this religiously. American fanciers often can't resist checking one more time. Those final checks cost race positions. Mistake number 4 is changing anything about water or feed type in the final 24 hours. Some fanciers decide to give special pre-race water. Electrolyte water or vitamin water or something enhanced. Or they decide to feed different feed mix the night before racing. Special racing mix or high-energy mix. These changes seem like they should help. They create digestive confusion and stress. Birds' digestive systems are adapted to whatever feed and water they've been consuming regularly. When you suddenly change the type of feed or add supplements to water, the digestive system has to adapt. This adaptation requires energy and creates stress. The gut bacteria might be disrupted. Enzyme production might need adjustment. The bird might not absorb the new feed as efficiently as familiar feed. Worse, if the bird has any sensitivity or intolerance to the new feed or supplement, symptoms might not appear for hours. The bird seems fine when you basket it. But during the race or after arrival, digestive problems develop. Crop stasis, diarrhea, abdominal pain. These problems can be traced directly to the last-minute change in feed or water. The correct protocol is complete consistency in the final 72 hours before racing. Feed the same mix the birds have been eating all week. Provide the same water they've been drinking all week. No supplements. No additives. No changes. Consistency prevents digestive stress. If you want to use special pre-race supplementation, it should be done in training so birds adapt to it. Then you continue the same protocol race week. But introducing something new the day before racing is always mistake. Mistake number 5 is allowing visitors or creating excitement the evening before racing. Club members want to see each other's teams. Friends and family want to see your racers. It's social and fun. Everyone's excited for tomorrow's race. But excitement is stress. Visitors in the loft create noise, movement, unfamiliar presences that put birds on alert. Even if visitors are quiet and calm, their presence is stimulating. The birds are watching them, processing new sensory input. This prevents deep rest. Additionally, the conversation and energy among fanciers creates excitement that transfers to birds. You're excited and talking animatedly. Birds are sensitive to human emotional states. Your excitement makes them excited. Excited birds don't rest properly. They burn energy being alert and stimulated when they should be sleeping quietly. The correct protocol is complete silence and privacy the evening before racing. No visitors. No phone calls in the loft. No conversations near the birds. You go to the loft only to provide the light evening feeding and then you leave. The birds are left in quiet darkness to rest undisturbed. If you must enter the loft later for some reason, move quietly and briefly. Don't talk. Don't linger. Get done what needs doing and leave. The birds should barely register your presence. This level of quiet discipline feels strange to social fanciers who enjoy the camaraderie before races. But racing success requires putting birds' needs ahead of social preferences. Socialize Monday through Friday. Maintain silence Saturday evening before Sunday racing. Mistake number 6 is basketing too late or rushing the basketing process. Some fanciers basket birds early Saturday evening and birds sleep in baskets overnight. Others basket birds Sunday morning shortly before departure for race point. Both approaches can work if done correctly. But often the morning basketing is rushed. The fancier oversleeps or misjudges travel time to club meeting point. Suddenly it's 15 minutes before departure and the birds aren't basket yet. The fancier rushes through the loft catching birds quickly. Birds sense the urgency and panic. They're caught roughly. They're placed in baskets carelessly. Some birds get crammed together or positioned poorly. The rushed basketing creates fear and stress. The birds arrive at liberation point already stressed and frightened rather than calm and ready. The correct protocol is early calm basketing. Arrive at your loft minimum 90 minutes before you need to leave for club meeting point. This gives you plenty of time for calm, unhurried basketing. Catch each bird individually. Place it carefully in basket with proper space and positioning. Move to next bird without rushing. The entire process should feel calm and methodical. The birds pick up on your calm energy. They basket without resistance. They settle in the baskets peacefully. They travel to liberation point already relaxed. This sets the stage for good performance. The same bird basket calmly versus basket in rush shows measurably different race performance. Calm basketing might save 5 minutes over 300 kilometers compared to rushed basketing. Worth getting up 30 minutes earlier. Mistake number 7 is forgetting or mismanaging motivation factors the night before racing. For widowhood cocks, this means access to hen before racing. For natural system birds, this means nest or mate access. For young birds, this means loft attachment routines. Each racing system requires specific motivation management in the final 24 hours. Forgetting these elements kills motivation, which kills performance. A widowhood cock that doesn't see his hen in the final days before racing loses motivation. His drive to return home quickly is reduced. He flies adequately but not urgently. The difference between motivated and unmotivated might be 20 minutes over distance race. That's massive. Natural system birds racing to eggs or small chicks need proper nest access before basketing. If you remove them from nest too early before racing, they forget about the eggs or lose attachment. If you disturb the nest excessively, they become stressed about nest security. The motivation system breaks down. The birds race but without the intense drive that nest protection provides. Young birds need their final evening in the loft to include normal routines that reinforce loft attachment. Feeding in the loft. Loft flying if weather permits. Roosting in their normal spots. If young birds are removed from loft too early or their routines are disrupted, loft attachment weakens. They return home but slowly because the pull of home isn't as strong. The correct protocol is systematic motivation management based on racing system. Widowhood cocks should see their hens for 5 to 10 minutes, approximately 12 to 18 hours before basketing. Not right before basketing. That's too stimulating. But recent enough that the memory is fresh. Natural birds should have undisturbed nest access up until basketing time. Young birds should have completely normal routine the evening before racing with no changes or disruptions that might weaken loft attachment. Each system is different but all require deliberate management. Don't assume motivation will just happen naturally. It must be managed intentionally. Now let me give you the complete correct protocol for the perfect final 24 hours before racing. This is what Belgian masters actually do, not what they tell people they do. 24 hours before racing, Friday evening if racing Sunday, provide light evening feeding only. 10 to 15 grams of wheat per bird. Maybe add a few peas but keep total volume minimal. No corn. No oil seeds. Clean light grain only. Provide plain fresh water. No supplements. No additives. After birds eat, leave the loft. No handling. No checking. No visitors. Complete quiet. Birds roost naturally with light crops. 12 to 18 hours before racing, Saturday morning or midday, check motivation system. Widowhood cocks get brief 5-minute hen exposure. Natural birds on eggs get verification that nest is undisturbed. Young birds get normal routine. This motivation check is the only loft entry between Friday evening feeding and Sunday morning basketing. Just brief, calm, mechanical. Then you leave again. No handling of race birds. No examination. Just motivation verification and exit. Morning of racing, arrive at loft 90 minutes before you must leave for club meeting point. Bring baskets, transport containers, any supplies needed. Enter loft calmly. No rushing. No noise. Catch first bird smoothly. Place in basket carefully. Move to next bird. Methodical calm process. Each bird gets maximum 30 seconds handling. Total basketing time for 10 birds is 5 to 8 minutes. No rushing but no lingering either. Efficient calm movement. Once all birds are basket, load them into vehicle. Secure baskets properly. Drive calmly to club meeting point. No aggressive driving. No sudden braking. Birds should experience smooth calm transport. At club meeting point, place your baskets with other fanciers' baskets for loading into convoy truck. Verify your birds are properly positioned and secure. Then step back. Don't keep checking them. Don't open baskets to look. Your job is done. The birds are in the system. Further interference creates stress without benefit. Let them be. They travel to liberation point. They're released. They race. You've done everything possible in the final 24 hours to give them the best chance. The rest is up to their training, genetics, and the race conditions. This protocol sounds simple when listed step by step. The difficulty is the discipline to follow it exactly, especially the parts that require not doing things. Not handling repeatedly. Not checking constantly. Not making last-minute changes. Not allowing visitors. Human nature wants to do more. To check one more time. To try one more thing. To make sure everything is perfect. But in the final 24 hours before racing, doing less is doing more. Every additional action is additional stress. Minimum necessary action allows maximum rest and preparation. Belgian masters understand this deeply. American fanciers often don't. They mean well but they sabotage their own birds through excessive last-minute activity. Let me give you real comparison showing the impact of these mistakes. 2 fanciers in same club. Similar quality birds. Similar training programs. Similar genetics. Both racing the same 300-kilometer race. Fancier A follows the correct protocol I just described. Light Friday evening feeding. Complete silence Friday night and Saturday. Calm Sunday morning basketing 90 minutes before departure. Proper motivation management. No handling except basketing. No visitors. No changes. Fancier B follows typical American approach. Normal Friday evening feeding, maybe slightly heavy to give energy. Friends visit Saturday to see the team. Multiple handling episodes Saturday evening and Sunday morning to check condition. Last-minute decision to add vitamins to water Saturday night. Rushed basketing Sunday morning because he overslept. Basketing completed 10 minutes before departure time. Both fancier's birds are released together Sunday morning. Same liberation. Same conditions. Same distance home. Fancier A's birds arrive in strong condition. Alert. Trap quickly. Times are excellent, within predicted range based on training. Fancier B's birds arrive but they're more tired than expected. Some hesitate before trapping. Times are 10 to 15 minutes slower than similar training tosses would predict. Not dramatically bad but clearly underperforming potential. Fancier B wonders why. His birds train just as well as Fancier A's birds. The answer is the final 24 hours. Fancier A gave his birds perfect preparation. Fancier B created stress through well-intentioned but harmful management. This comparison isn't hypothetical. I've seen it play out dozens of times. The fanciers who practice strict discipline in the final 24 hours consistently outperform fanciers with looser management even when bird quality is equal. The race really is won or lost before liberation. Leo Heerman said this explicitly. He believed the final 24 hours determined 50% of race outcome. The other 50% was training, genetics, race conditions. But half the result was determined purely by how the bird was managed in that final day. If you mismanage the final day, you've thrown away half your potential before the bird even leaves the basket. Now let me address the objection that this level of discipline is obsessive or unnecessary for club-level racing. Maybe championship-level racers need this precision but regular club racers don't. This thinking is backwards. Championship lofts can sometimes get away with small mistakes because their birds have such superior genetics and training that they overcome suboptimal preparation. Club-level birds don't have that margin for error. They need perfect preparation because they're competing against other club-level birds where small advantages make the difference. If you have average genetics and average training, you absolutely must maximize preparation. You can't afford mistakes in the final 24 hours because you have no genetic superiority to compensate. Actually, club-level racing is where preparation discipline matters most. Championship racing is often decided by genetics and training because everyone at that level prepares perfectly. Club-level racing is often decided by preparation because genetics and training are more variable. The fancier who prepares birds perfectly will beat fanciers with better birds who prepare carelessly. This is opportunity. You might not have the budget for expensive genetics. You might not have time for maximum training. But you can control the final 24 hours. Perfect execution of the final day protocol costs zero money and about 2 hours of discipline time. That's accessible to anyone. That's how average fanciers beat fanciers with better resources. Let me end with action steps to implement immediately. Step 1. Write down the exact protocol for the final 24 hours before your next race. Include specific times. Friday evening 6 p.m. light feeding. Friday evening 6:30 p.m. leave loft. Saturday noon motivation check. Sunday 4 a.m. arrive at loft. Sunday 4:15 a.m. begin basketing. Sunday 4:30 a.m. depart for club. Specific scheduled actions prevent improvisation and mistakes. Step 2. Inform family and friends that you're unavailable Saturday evening before Sunday races. No visitors at loft. No phone calls during loft time. This prevents social pressure from disrupting the protocol. Step 3. Prepare everything Saturday morning that you'll need Sunday morning. Baskets ready. Transport vehicle prepared. Route to club planned. This eliminates Sunday morning rushing. Step 4. Set multiple alarms for Sunday morning. Oversleeping is not acceptable. If basketing must happen at 4 a.m., set alarms for 3:30, 3:40, 3:50. Ensure you're up in time for calm basketing process. Step 5. Practice the basketing process in training during week. Time yourself basketing birds calmly. Develop smooth, efficient technique. This prevents fumbling and delays on actual race morning. Step 6. Monitor results over several races. Compare your bird's performances to expectations based on training. If birds consistently underperform potential, the final 24 hours preparation is likely the issue. Refine the protocol until performances match expectations. If this video revealed mistakes you've been making that cost you race positions, hit the like button. Subscribe for more preparation and management protocols that actually affect results. Comment how many of these 7 mistakes you've made. Be honest. Most fanciers have made at least 5 of them. The question is whether you'll stop making them after learning the truth. And visit Pigeon Healthy for stress recovery protocols, because if you've been managing birds with high stress, their systems need support. Natural adaptogens and calming herbs help birds recover from chronic stress and perform at genetic potential. Stress-free birds fly faster. It's that simple. See you in next video.